I never thought of the relationship as abusive, and I never thought of myself as abusive. But then I hit Ann.
This is a public service announcement aimed at teens who find themselves in violent relationships. The man making it doing time in prison for killing his own girlfriend in an argument. Conor McBride is a convicted murderer. He'll tell you so himself.
But thanks to something called restorative justice, his girlfriend's family has forgiven him, and together they're encouraging others to try it.
Total shock to us. We couldn't process it.
Andy and Kate Gromare described a knock at the door and the shock of their lives. Their daughter Ann had been shot, and her fiancé, Conor McBride, had already turned himself in for pulling the trigger.
There is no why. I made a terrible mistake. I got angry.
Conor McBride confessing to grabbing a shotgun and shooting Ann during a heated breakup.
Not a day goes by that I don't regret what happened, what I did.
The Gromares describe rushing to the hospital, standing vigil at the 19-year-old's bedside, hoping for a recovery that never happened.
About 2 o'clock in the morning, I was just standing over, praying for her to get better. And I heard her clearly say, just as you and me are sitting here, forgive him.
During that week that Ann was in the hospital, I thought a lot about what she would want for us. Ann would want us to be at peace. I knew I would have to forgive Conor in order to find that peace.
Kate Gromare going to visit Conor in jail and doing that just days later. It was the same day Ann died.
It really seems hard to believe sometimes. You know, I'm the offender. I'm the person who harmed their daughter. I'm the person who killed their daughter, and yet they're still showing support. That's amazing. It's not normal.
That's how it started. Within months, the Gromares would begin exploring the possibility of a restorative justice circle.
We wanted to know what happened.
A chance to face each other and speak freely about what happened that day and the impact it had on everyone involved.
I wanted to tell Conor what Ann meant to us, because she meant the world to us. And she was ready to tackle the world and do great things. And so I wanted to tell him that. This is what you took from us.
So hearing that, hearing the pain I caused and then having to accept responsibility, that's the two hardest things I've ever had to do.
That circle, Conor, his parents, and the Gromares all crowded into a small room at the Leon County Jail. 5 long and painful hours.
Those concrete walls in that little tiny room must have cracked. They should have cracked with all of the emotion that was in that room.
It was excruciating.
That was more, that was more painful, that was more punishing than any amount of time I will ever do.
The candor of it all, they say, in stark contrast to the criminal justice system.
The judicial system says don't talk to anybody, keep it all bottled up. So through the whole process, they never say, yes, I did it. They never have the opportunity to say, I'm sorry.
When it was over, Conor McBride getting a 20-year prison sentence and 10 years probation, whose conditions were partly fashioned by Ann's parents.
I never considered myself abusive, but I was.
Anger management, volunteer work that Ann would have done, and speaking out on teen dating violence as he did in this public service announcement.
Please seek help.
Prison was the right place for him to go. Question is really how long? And is there redemption for people? And we totally believe that there is redemption for people.
Their ability to say, we're not going to define you by a single moment. That has allowed me to move forward and move beyond and start healing myself. And I have an obligation to change. I have an obligation to try to make things as right as possible.
The Gromares say spreading the word about the power of forgiveness and the potential for restorative justice has become Ann's legacy. The Gromares and McBride's will be sharing their story and answering questions about restorative justice at a documentary screening and panel discussion next week. It's Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. at Good Shepherd Church. We've got details on the website if you'd like to learn more information. Now, this is the very first time that restorative justice has been used in a murder case in Florida. It is usually used for adults accused of much lesser crimes or for juveniles in trouble.